They don't see the nights you cried alone. They don't feel the weight you carry in silence. But listen to me. What broke you did not end you. This is your moment. There comes a moment in every life when everything feels broken. Not cracked, not damaged, broken. The kind of broken where you don't just lose things, you lose yourself, your confidence, your direction, your belief. You wake up tired even after sleeping. You smile in front of people, but feel empty when you're alone. You start questioning your worth, your strength, your future, and the world doesn't slow down for you. It keeps moving while you're stuck, watching others rise, wondering why you're still here. But listen to me carefully. Broken is not the end. Broken is the beginning most people never talk about. Every powerful story ever told begins in a place of pain. Every strong person you admire once stood exactly where you're standing now, confused, hurting, doubting, and unsure if they had what it takes. What separates them from the rest is not talent, not luck, not privilege. It's the decision they made in the darkest moment of their life, the decision to not stay broken. Right now, you may feel like life has taken everything from you. Dreams didn't work out. People you trusted walked away. Effort didn't bring results. You gave your best and still lost, and that hurts. It hurts deeply. But here's the truth most people never realize. When you have nothing left to lose, you're closer to freedom than ever before. Because when you are broken, there is no image left to protect, no expectations left to impress, no comfort left to cling to. All that remains is raw potential. This is your moment, not when things are perfect, not when you feel confident, not when motivation magically appears. This moment when you feel weak is the moment strength is built. Strength is not created when life is easy. Strength is forged when quitting feels reasonable, when giving up makes sense, and you still choose to stand up. You don't become unstoppable by winning all the time. You become unstoppable by refusing to stay down. Let me tell you something you need to hear. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not a failure. You are in training. Life has been preparing you, shaping you, hardening you for something bigger than you can currently see. The pain you didn't ask for is developing a version of you that comfort never could. Right now, your job is not to have everything figured out. Your job is to survive, to rebuild, to show up one more day even when your heart feels heavy. Progress doesn't always look like success. Sometimes progress looks like getting out of bed when you don't want to. Sometimes it looks like choosing discipline over despair. Sometimes it looks like silence, patience, and quiet resilience. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop measuring your worth by your current circumstances. You are more than this moment. You are more than this setback. You are more than what happened to you. What broke you did not come to destroy you. It came to wake you up. There is a version of you buried beneath the disappointment, beneath the fear, beneath the self-doubt. A version that is stronger, calmer, more focused, more dangerous in the best way. But that version only comes alive when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "Who is this making me become?" Pain changes people. It can make you bitter or it can make you better. The difference is choice. Today, make a decision, not a loud decision, not a dramatic one. A quiet, unbreakable decision that no matter how slow it gets, no matter how heavy it feels, you will not quit on yourself. You don't need the whole plan. You just need the next step. One step forward, then another, then another. Momentum is built in silence. No one needs to see your grind. No one needs to believe in you yet. This season is not about applause. It's about alignment, aligning your habits with the future you want, aligning your actions with the respect you owe yourself, aligning your mindset with discipline instead of emotion. You won't always feel motivated. That's normal. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is not. Discipline shows up even when emotions don't. Discipline is what carries you from broken to unstoppable. And understand this, the world will test you again. More challenges will come. More moments of doubt will appear, but the difference next time is this. You'll know you survived worse. You'll know you didn't quit before. You'll know you're capable of more than you once believed. This is not the chapter where you give up. This is the chapter where you rebuild quietly and return loudly. You were not broken to stay broken. You were broken to become unstoppable. At some point, you realize that waiting for life to be fair is a losing game. Fairness is not a strategy. Comfort is not a plan. Hope without action is just another way to stay stuck. What changes everything is ownership, radical ownership. The moment you stop blaming the past, the people, the timing, the mistakes, and say, "This is mine now, I will carry it, I will shape it, I will turn it into strength," you don't heal by pretending nothing hurt you. You heal by facing the truth without running from it. The truth is, some days you will feel strong and clear. Other days you'll feel tired, angry, confused, and tempted to go back to old habits because at least they feel familiar. Familiar doesn't mean safe. Familiar doesn't mean right. Familiar just means you've been there before, and it didn't take you where you wanted to go. Growth feels uncomfortable because it demands a new identity. You can't become unstoppable while holding on to the version of you that broke. You have to let that version go, not with hate, with respect. Thank that version for surviving what it did, then release it. It did its job, now it's your turn to evolve. There will be moments when no one checks on you, when no one claps, when no one notices the progress you're making in silence. This is where most people quit, not because they can't continue, but because they feel invisible. Listen closely. Invisibility is an advantage. When no one is watching, you are free to build without pressure, free to fail without judgment, free to train without distractions. The strongest foundations are built underground. You don't need to announce your comeback. You don't need validation to proceed. Validation is a drug. Discipline is a weapon. Pick the weapon. Use it daily. Small actions done consistently will outperform emotional bursts every time. 5 minutes of focus every day beats 1 hour of hype once a month. Consistency turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. You may feel behind right now, like others have passed you, like time slipped through your fingers. That feeling is heavy, but it's also misleading. Life is not a straight line. Progress is not a race. Some people start fast and burn out. Others start slow and build something that lasts. The finish line doesn't care how long it took you to arrive, only that you arrived stronger than when you began. Stop negotiating with your excuses. Excuses sound intelligent. They come dressed as logic, fatigue, realism. But excuses are just fear trying to stay comfortable, fear of failing again, fear of looking foolish, fear of realizing how powerful you actually are, because power brings responsibility. Responsibility means you can no longer hide. When you accept responsibility for your life, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission. You stop asking for rescue. You stop hoping circumstances will improve before you do. You improve first. You become the reason things change. There will be days when discipline feels like punishment, when you question why you're working so hard while others seem to enjoy life. Remember this: enjoyment without growth becomes emptiness. Growth without enjoyment becomes purpose. Purpose sustains you when pleasure fades. Pain will visit you again. Doubt will knock on your door. Old voices will whisper that you're not enough, that this effort is pointless, that you should slow down, settle, accept less. Those voices are not enemies, they are tests, and tests exist to reveal who you are becoming. Answer the test with action. When your mind says stop, ask your body to take one more step. When your emotions say quit, let your values decide. When motivation disappears, let routine carry you. Build routines so solid that even on your worst days, progress happens automatically. You don't need confidence to act. Confidence is built by acting. Courage comes after movement, not before it. Take imperfect action. Take small action. Take action anyway. Look at yourself honestly, not with judgment, but with clarity. What habits are holding you back? What patterns keep repeating? What comforts are costing you your future? Be brave enough to admit it. Awareness is not weakness. Awareness is power. Then do something most people never do. Change your environment. Change what you see, change what you hear, change what you consume. Your mind is shaped by what you feed it. If you feed it negativity, comparison, and excuses, don't be surprised when it produces fear. Feed it discipline, truth, and challenge, and watch how different you become. This journey will strip you down. It will demand patience when you want speed, humility when you want recognition, endurance when you want rest. But it will also give you something rare: self-respect. The kind that doesn't depend on opinions. The kind that comes from knowing you didn't quit when it was hardest. Self-respect changes how you walk, how you speak, how you choose. It creates standards. Standards protect your future. You won't always feel unstoppable. That's a myth. Unstoppable doesn't mean invincible. It means resilient. It means adaptable. It means when life hits you, you absorb the impact, adjust your stance, and keep moving forward. Broken taught you how to endure. Now it's time to learn how to advance. This phase requires patience. Results will come slower than you want and faster than you expect. Trust the process even when the evidence is not visible yet. Seeds grow in darkness before they ever break the surface. Don't dig them up just to check if they're working. Stay focused, stay grounded, stay hungry. Your moment is not coming, it's happening now. In every disciplined choice, every quiet sacrifice, every time you choose growth over comfort. This is how you transform. This is how you rise. There is a point in this journey where things get heavy in a different way, not because life is falling apart, but because it's asking more from you. The excuses that once felt convincing start to sound hollow. The comfort that once felt safe starts to feel suffocating. You realize that staying the same now hurts more than changing. This is the pressure phase, and pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is proof that you're expanding. Most people run from pressure. They mistake it for failure, but pressure is the weight that builds strength. Muscles grow under resistance. Character is shaped under responsibility. Identity is formed under repeated choices made when no one is forcing you. At this stage, you begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who is trying to escape the past, but as someone who is building a future. You stop asking for motivation and start demanding standards. Standards change everything. Standards decide what you tolerate, what you accept, and what you walk away from. When your standards rise, your life has no choice but to follow. You can't live a powerful life with weak boundaries. Boundaries protect your focus, they protect your energy, they protect your momentum. Not everyone deserves access to you, especially not in a season of growth. Some people will misunderstand your distance. Let them. You are not isolating, you are refining. This is where identity shifts. You no longer see yourself as broken, you see yourself as forged. You stop telling stories about what happened to you and start defining yourself by how you responded. The past loses its grip when the future gains your attention. There will be moments when old patterns try to pull you back, familiar distractions, familiar behaviors, familiar self-doubt. This doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're leveling up. Old versions always fight hardest when they know they are about to be replaced. Stay disciplined. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's saying no to short-term relief so you can say yes to long-term respect. It's doing the work even when you could easily make an excuse and no one would know, except you would know, and that knowledge either weakens you or strengthens you. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce your identity as someone who can be trusted. Self-trust is power. Once you trust yourself, you stop seeking constant reassurance from the world. You move differently, you speak differently, you make decisions faster and with less regret. This is also where loneliness can appear. Not because you're alone, but because you're changing. Growth often creates distance before it creates alignment. You may outgrow conversations that once mattered. Goals that once felt big may start to feel small. This is natural. Don't shrink yourself to stay relatable. The right people will rise with you or meet you later. Let go without bitterness, move forward without apology. You will start to feel a quiet confidence forming. Not loud, not arrogant, solid, grounded, the kind of confidence that doesn't need to prove anything. It's built from evidence, from showing up again and again, from surviving days you thought would break you. This confidence allows you to face fear without freezing. Fear doesn't disappear, it just stops controlling you. You learn to move with fear, not wait for it to leave. Waiting for fear to disappear is how dreams die. Acting in spite of fear is how they come alive. Your vision becomes clearer here. You begin to understand what you're willing to sacrifice and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. Clarity brings focus. Focus brings momentum. Momentum brings results, but don't rush the results. Rushing leads to shortcuts, and shortcuts lead back to brokenness. Stay patient. Stay precise. Master the basics. Greatness is not complicated. It is consistent. Your work ethic becomes quieter and more intense. You talk less, you do more. You stop seeking attention and start seeking mastery. You understand that real power doesn't announce itself. It shows up prepared. Prepared people don't panic when opportunity arrives. They step forward calmly because they've been training for it, and opportunity will come. It may not look like you imagine. It may arrive disguised as responsibility, challenge, or risk. Many people miss their moment because it doesn't match their expectations. Don't be one of them. Recognize your moment by the way it demands growth from you. When the moment comes, step into it fully, not halfway, not cautiously. Fully. You didn't survive everything you've been through to hesitate now. You are not here to play small. You are not here to remain broken. You are here to build something solid, something meaningful, something that reflects the strength you've earned. This is where unstoppable begins to feel real, not because life is easy, but because you are ready. There comes a moment when you realize you are no longer just fighting for yourself. The work you've done, the discipline you've built, the strength you've earned, it starts to affect everything around you. Your presence changes, your words carry weight. People may not know your story, but they feel your energy. This is what happens when pain is processed instead of passed on. Ownership deepens here. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating them. You understand that leadership begins with self-leadership. If you can control your habits, your reactions, your focus, you can influence outcomes. You don't need a title to lead. You lead by example, by consistency, by integrity when it would be easier to cut corners. At this stage, excuses no longer fit you. They feel uncomfortable, almost embarrassing, not because you're perfect, but because you've outgrown the need to explain why you didn't try. You understand that effort is the only language progress speaks. You also learn restraint. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every opinion deserves a response. Strength now shows itself through calm decision, making rather than emotional reaction. You choose clarity over chaos. You choose progress over drama. You choose long-term respect over short-term validation. This is maturity. You begin to see how far you've come, not with pride but with gratitude. You remember the nights when giving up felt logical, the mornings when starting again felt impossible, and yet here you are stronger, steadier, sharper. That memory fuels you. It reminds you that you can handle pressure because you already have. Responsibility increases as your capacity increases. This is a rule of life. Growth brings weight, more decisions, higher stakes, greater expectations, but you are no longer intimidated by weight. Weight built you. When setbacks happen now, and they will, you don't collapse. You adapt. You don't ask why me. You ask what now. You don't panic. You plan. This mindset shift is everything. It turns obstacles into instructions. You've learned that confidence is not loud certainty. It's quiet preparation. You don't need to convince anyone of who you are. Your results will speak. Your consistency will speak. Your character will speak when no one else is talking. This is also where you learn to trust yourself deeply. You've proven something to yourself that no one can take away. You don't quit. That truth becomes an anchor. When doubt tries to creep in, you return to that fact. Evidence beats emotion every time. You stop chasing approval and start building impact. Impact doesn't come from perfection. It comes from persistence, from showing what's possible when someone refuses to let their lowest moment define them. Whether you realize it or not, someone is watching you. Someone who needs to see that transformation is real. Someone who needs proof that broken can become powerful. You don't have to speak to inspire. You just have to live aligned. Your standards are higher now. Your time is more valuable. Your focus is sharper. You understand that saying no is sometimes the most powerful move you can make. Every no protects a yes that matters. You feel grounded, present, clear. This is your moment, not because the world finally noticed, but because you finally did. You recognize your own strength. You respect your own journey. You trust your own ability to handle what's next. And what's next will demand courage. New levels always do, but courage no longer feels foreign to you. You've practiced it daily. Every time you chose discipline. Every time you stayed consistent. Every time you kept going without guarantees. Now, when opportunity arrives, you don't hesitate. You step forward, you claim your space, you act with intention, you are not reckless. You are ready, you don't rush, you execute. You don't chase, you build. You don't beg, you become. The broken version of you would have doubted this moment. The unstoppable version owns it. You earned this. This is where everything comes together, not in a dramatic explosion, not with applause or instant rewards, but with certainty. A calm, unshakable certainty that you are no longer who you used to be. The chaos that once controlled you no longer has power. The fear that once stopped you no longer decides. You stand different now, not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. You understand something most people never do. Confidence is not found, it is built, brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day, through discomfort, through sacrifice, through moments when quitting would have been easier than continuing. You didn't wait for belief, you earned it. Now you move with purpose. Your actions are intentional. Your focus is protected. Your energy is directed, not wasted. You don't chase every opportunity. You choose the right ones. You don't react to every emotion. You observe and respond with control. This is power, quiet power, rare power. You've learned that life will always test you. There will always be uncertainty, risk, and pressure. But pressure no longer scares you. You've lived under it. You've grown under it. You know how to breathe through it, think through it, and move forward anyway. You no longer ask for permission to become who you are meant to be. The pain you once resented now makes sense. It sharpened your awareness. It stripped away illusions. It forced you to confront yourself. Without that pain, you might have stayed comfortable, distracted, average. Pain redirected you toward purpose, and purpose changes everything. Purpose gives meaning to discipline, meaning to sacrifice, meaning to patience. When things get hard now, you don't ask, is this worth it? You already know the answer. You're not chasing motivation anymore. You're honoring commitment. You commit to your standards. You commit to your growth. You commit to your future. That commitment is what makes you unstoppable. Not unstoppable because you never fail, but unstoppable because failure no longer ends you. You extract lessons instead of excuses. You recover faster. You move smarter. You rise stronger. You trust the process because you are the process. And now, when you look forward, you don't see fear. You see responsibility. Responsibility to live up to what you've become. Responsibility to not waste the strength you earned. Responsibility to keep going, not just for yourself, but for the version of you that almost gave up. You owe that version everything, so when doubt returns, and it will, you remind yourself, I've been broken before, and I rebuilt. When obstacles rise, you remind yourself, I've survived worse. When fear whispers, you answer with action. You don't need to announce your power. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need permission. You are living proof that transformation is possible, from broken to focused, from weak to disciplined, from lost to grounded, from surviving to leading. This is your moment. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are prepared, prepared to handle pressure, prepared to take responsibility, prepared to move forward without guarantees. Stand tall in it. Whatever comes next, face it head on. Whatever challenges appear, meet them with calm and courage. Whatever opportunities arise, step into them fully. You didn't come this far to hesitate. You didn't survive to settle. You didn't rebuild to stop now. This is your moment. Own it, live it, protect it. You are no longer broken. You are unstoppable.